All right, so when it comes to your vortex, your vortex is what you use. Basically, it's a metaphysical concept, for you to create a spiral and for you to bend down metaphysical material compounds as far as your realm of feelings and as far as your realm of thought, your left brain and your right brain, that come together to create a vortex as far as you exchanging information between these two different energy centers. You might want to be careful who you share your vortex with, because if you're generating a lot of fruits, if you're generating a lot of positive energies, or let's just say you know how to equalize yourself, not to go too far on the polar shift, and you don't want to share your vortex necessarily with anybody, not necessarily with anybody, but you don't want to bring unnecessary people, places, and things in your vortex, because you might get ready to redirect your vortex towards a direction that's actually going to decrease or increase its velocity based on whatever you input to it, because whatever you put in is what you get out. Whatever seeds you put in the ground is what you're going to get out. So you can expect to get a harvest of potatoes at the end of the year if you don't put those seeds in potatoes. Now, there's all types of metaphysical laws you can get into, and all types of ways you can manifest. Like, let's say, for example, the shadow government. They don't even be caring about. Oh, they be like, oh, oh, okay, you got those seeds, you got those fruits, coming to a house near you, bitch. We're gonna come harvest that shit. But point is, a lot of the famous people, even down here in the third dimension, walking on Earth, like Madame Blavatsky, all those Negroes, whatever. You're gonna get some kind of puppet from the shadow government walking up to you and letting you know, hey, I'm gonna give you $1 billion. Hey, I'm gonna give you $1 million. Hey, come to this expensive party. We want to talk to you. We want to initiate you and shit like that. And so you want to be careful who you share your vortex with, or what space you are in as far as your location, whether you're at home, whether you're with family members who may, heavily disagree with your concepts and how you see reality and how you want to manifest things. Because, you might want to do things based on a moral system that's completely different than people, places, and things around you. And they might create circumstances and situations to, derail you or stop you, because they don't know what it means to, be high up on the mountain. Not that there's, above or below, but we're just using above figuratively. A lot of people don't know what it's like to be up high, and people don't believe that that's real. And when people see you do that, people are gonna be feeling like, no, this is impossible. You're supposed to stay with us in the rat race. So people are gonna be automatically sabotaging you, because this is what you call basically the Agent Smith effect and shit like that, where people, it's getting tough to get alerted, like, okay, why is this person vibrating differently? Why is this person showing these colors of chakras and things like that? And so, they're gonna create situations to try to stop you and things like that. They don't even know this is what they're doing, but based on them being in an environment that, programming to show them that, hey, this is the right thing to do, and based on you seeing that your whole entire life, you're not gonna want to change that. Chances are you're gonna want to maintain that, and until a situation or a circumstance happen that wrestle you to the ground, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, I have to change, bro, because I don't want to keep experiencing that same thing again and again. That's why you have memes about, your higher self or your higher guide telling you, you gotta get out of here, and they're dragging you out of there because you don't wanna, you wanna stay in the flesh, but God is not really in the flesh. You can be in the flesh, but don't be literally in the flesh. Like, don't be in these hormones and these blood flows. Use this vehicle like a bitch to do your assignment and to do what God has entrusted you or endowed you to do, not to necessarily get lost into physical realms and realities. So when it comes to your vortex, you wanna, as far as you're concerned, you already know what type of people, places, and things, food, music, all these type of, third dimensional energies, conscious waves of energy that you can instill into the wave of your consciousness, and that helps you create a mental maintenance of yourself, and it helps you go into that direction that you want to go to. So, for example, if I know that I want to be a public speaker, if I know that I want to be a millionaire, chances are you won't see me hanging out with the homeless. You won't see me hanging out with people that like to sit in the back of the bus, that don't really like to talk much, and things like that, because I'm not going to pick up patterns from them that allow me to go do that same thing. Now, you're a spiritually wise spirit, and you know that, God is all possibilities. You can still go hang out with the homeless, and you can still go hang out with people at the back of the bus that don't like to talk, and you can extract the virtue and principle, the trauma, the vulnerability, the phobia that don't allow them to do that, and you can be a way harder spirit and show them that they don't need to be in that, and you can give them a product, services, and information, and you can get benefits from that and things like that, because you never limit God, you never limit your possibilities, because you can do anything you put your mind to, no matter the situation, circumstance, or whatever person, place, or thing that you're dealing with, because people actually deal with mental things first that bend down on themselves and become verbiage, that become body languages, that become certain rates of speech, that become auras and things like that, and that actually attracts to you the people, places, and things that you call friends, family, or whatever. you know Families like different families like that come from like I don't want to say a higher density, but the people you got in lost in the desire with. So when you get born into this realm, you even feel like you might not be able to relate to your mom and dad, or they might not agree with the thought forms that you have, or you might grow up with a mother and father that don't even have thoughts and feelings that are similar to yours, and that alone might like kind of fuck you up. You're like, wait, what? My mom and dad, they don't think like me, so how is this my mom and dad? And shit like that. So you want to be consciously aware as you go throughout the day, because it's always an uphill battle. You're always fighting a war mentally. You're trying to Aikido, you're trying to slap these thoughts and feelings out of the way and things like that. So when you see Bruce Lee fighting, is really like just like all these Chinese martial artists. They're pretty smart too, but the way they get into it is like they're teaching you how to fight, how to be a mental assassin, how to kill thoughts and feelings and things like that, and how to not even manifest that in the first place. Because when you are able to not to get too lost in extremes in your mind, you're able to create a situation that's balanced. Like, let's say I'm at the shawarma store and things like that, and at the shawarma store there's a line, and I get pissed off, and I scream, man, fuck the shawarma store. I hate the shawarma store. There's always a line here. That'd be an example of me perhaps already bringing anger with me into the situation, and not a Japanese Aikido stopping that thought, Kung Fu, esoteric Kung Fu, punching that thought away before it integrated itself into my neurological network and things like that. Or you know you just don't point is you just don't want to integrate energies into your vortex that are gonna put you in a detrimental situation. You always want to be able to equalize situations. You want to be able to harmonize things. You want to be able to put yourself in a state of flow by you not by you just creating a energy shield type of deal, where you just push these things away from you that are no longer necessary for your existence. Because a lot of these thoughts and feelings that we think of, it just takes up space that are unnecessary. Like, oh, what about that friend? I'm gonna worry about what they think. Oh, my mom and dad, they're gonna look at the way I dress. They're not gonna approve of it. Who gives a shit? You might be the next Michael Jackson. You might be the next Rihanna. You might be the next Beyonce. You might be the next Obama. So you're gonna let someone else's thoughts and feelings that's not even in that position that you're trying to get to stop you from even experiencing the first stages of that. That way, you're never even gonna be able to manifest if you feed your vortex, your mind, people, places, and things that don't even agree with the place that you're going, and have some kind of moral system against that, or whatever they got against that. Because when people is looking at you, again, they're looking at another version of themselves, and when you have something that another person doesn't have, they might get irritated, they might get pissed off, or if they can't control you, manipulate you, con you, that might piss them off even more, because in their life everybody catered to them or whatever. You don't know, everybody got like a weird story, but the point is, you don't want to get lost to that love and hip hop story, that drama, aka that's another shadow government program. You don't want to get lost in that. You just want to be able to go straight to your goal. You want to be able to do your things. You want to be able to stay on task. You want to be a task master and things like that. And so you have to keep your mind in tune with your cosmic design, so you don't get lost in these things. And so the more you know yourself, the more you're able to anchor in emotions, energies that have to do with where you're going. And those emotions and energies is going to keep you in a realm and in a space. Because in the spirit realm, you really be flickering in and out of those realities. So other spirits be looking at you like, okay, we can't give you nothing, because you don't know how to stay still in one energy and receive that blessing or that blissing and things like that. And so this is why a lot of people is static. A lot of people is like a TV signal. They're just like shh. They don't have a clear channel. They don't have a clear signal and things like that for them to even create a mentality that's not distracted and things like that. So you're gonna be very, very careful what you feed your vortex, because your vortex is what you manifest here on earth. And there's a lot of ways to understand the mathematics and the metaphysics behind your personal vortex. Because in your personal vortex, there's particular elementals, elements that you use from a day to day in your realm of feelings, in your realm of conscious awareness, your yin and your yang, for you to even manifest what you call light. Because you know yourself, you know what's going on inside of your yin realm, you know what's going on inside of your internal realm, you know how you go about externally about reality, you know the positives and negatives of that. So you know yourself already, but you want to be able to take those things and now do them in a much more conscious state and be able to anchor, the goodness in that. And you want to be able to be, be at the center of the world rather than you being kind of scattered and going from place to place and not knowing what comes next. No, you want to be still. You want to be in a state of knowing. You don't want to be necessarily in a state of believing where you're believing in Jesus. You're waiting for Buddha. You're waiting for your boyfriend and girlfriend to text you. You're waiting for that friend to get back to you and things like that. Because now you're just wasting your time with things of the world that don't really have anything to do with your actual purpose, and that's what you're getting ready to find out anyways. But a lot of people get to have a rude awakening, or they have to deal with that in their next lifetime, or they're looking for a deity to, when they die, to take care of that pain, that bullshit that they did, and wash it away for them. And that's never gonna happen. So you're just gonna sign a contract with a non-benevolent deity that's gonna make you a Hebrew slave and gonna make you work, and you're gonna be wondering why you're getting so many crumbs, breadcrumbs, and why that deity and his group, his bloodline, is manifesting the most, and things like that. So you don't want to be a slave to anything. You just want to understand your own vortex mathematics, so you can start to get outside of that bullshit that you be in, and you can actually start to use your own natural energy signatures, so you can finally start to manifest some kind of prosperity that's in the world, rather than you just getting washed down by the conscious waves of awareness that's in the world based on the people that have already been running this geographical locations for fucking centuries and years. And so if they've been doing this for 2,000 years, I'm talking about the Shadow Garment right now, if they've been doing this for 2,000 years or shit like that, they got like bunch of methods, bunch of ways, bunch of shit to do this shit. They already did this shit so many times. But the game is so simple, but the game is hard at the same time. So it'd be some deep shit. Yeah. And I love y'all. Appreciate you. Nothing y'all can do about it. I'm infinitely gonna see y'all on the next video. You better believe it. Real shit.